Seeing none, our next order of business is public participation, and I will read the information from the policy about public participation for those of you who are going to present to us. The board welcomes and encourages public participation. We respectfully ask that you adhere to the procedures and the decorum provided in Board Policy BEDH, public participation at meetings. Your comments should be limited to 3 minutes. Questions asked during public participation will be handled in accordance with Board Policy BEDH. And Mr. Harris is the timekeeper, so he will hold up cards at specific intervals just to let the speakers know where they stand and how much time they have left. And then at the end, there's a buzzer that goes off. So we have 2 speakers tonight. One is Bruce Lovelace, who happens also to be the brother of our very own school board member, Ken Lovelace. So we welcome you, Mr. Lovelace.
Thank you so much. I'll try to be brief. 3 minutes there, timekeeper. First of all, I want to thank you guys putting on my Irmo Chapin Recreation Commission hat. I've been a long-time member, 14, 15 years. The school parks agreement, it used to be that we couldn't raise anybody up on the phone or get anybody to listen to us. Y'all, the commission is so appreciative of your new attitude, and that we think that is a key fabric of our community for these 2 agencies to be working together. Second, I want to thank the Save Our Schools forums that have been put on by the feeder schools coming into Chapin High School. I've attended 3 of them. Several of you guys out there, I've seen you there. Really been informative. It's first-rate, top-notch. Now, this is the difficult part I got to talk to you about. 5 years ago, I lost my son, Chase, to drug overdose, drug abuse. I decided at that time to get off the sidelines and be proactive for kids and families alike. I started the Palmetto Foundation for Recovery. We have been instrumental across the state getting collegiate recovery programs going, funding them, getting people told from scholarships, getting them back in school. We've done that. We've also changed a bunch of the legislative initiatives to change that prescription laws. Not only that, we go, the social emotional health that we're talking about, we get into 8th grade. We have a film that we put out there and go through and show parents and teachers, kids alike, the dangers of drug abuse and social emotional issues. We've instituted a peer mentoring program as well. So having said all that, I wish I'd have known what I know now about the drug issues, and my son Chase would still be here. Big 6'5", 265-pound Shrine Bowl football player, and you just saw the purpose just drift out of it. You only have one chance to save a life, one chance, all right? I see that y'all are coming up with a modified version of your drug abuse policies. Drug abusers and people that peddle drugs, the truth is not in them. They're not going to go up and admit to y'all that I'm peddling drugs, So you got to find out what you're talking about. Let's go and have the most stringent drug program that we can. We need to have a 10-panel hair follicle test. Everybody that's a drug abuser knows how to beat the other test. Everybody does. The urine test, it's on the internet, everything else. So I strongly urge you guys to support a 10-panel hair follicle test for all new employees, and I'd have random tests as well. Thank you so much for letting me have this time.
Thank you, Mr. Lovelace. Appreciate your work on that. Next is Mr. Jeremy King.
Good evening. I want to thank Mr. Lovelace for inviting me to come out this evening. I know some of you already know me just through email, so I thought it'd be a good chance to get to see you all so you have a name to a face. My daughter is a second grader at Chapin Elementary. She has severe food allergies. Most concerning is a nut allergy. So severe that the dust the size of the dime could put her into deadly anaphylactic shock. And what I want to talk to you about is the safety of that. When I grew up, as probably most of you all grew up, you probably never even heard of food allergies. I never did. It wasn't until the one night when she had a reaction that it really scared the living daylights out of myself and my wife. The employment I come from, the line of work, safety is the utmost importance. We figure if you get safety and quality right, everything else falls into line. If somebody leaves the job in an ambulance, that plant manager is reporting to the CEO of the company. He or she could lose their job. At a minimum, it'll affect their bonus. That's how important safety is. It's the number one thing we look at. I've been working on this for almost 3 years now. When my daughter started at Chapin, there was a field day event in the fall of 2016. We got an email that the only food that was going to be served that day to all the students was peanut butter sandwiches. You can imagine the reaction of my wife and I. We kept her out of school that day because there was a clear and present danger to our daughter that we couldn't deal with. I was told by the principal that she spoke to the director of nutrition with the district, and they would look for better alternatives. We hope things would get better. Last fall, we got another communication of another field day. The only thing that was going to be served was peanut butter sandwiches. I talked to the new principal at that time, raised the same concerns. Every time I keep getting told, you're a strong advocate, we want to see parents like you, but I get lip service, I don't see any action. It happened again 2 weeks ago. A field day event at Chapin Elementary. The only food being served was peanut butter sandwiches. We pulled our daughter out. Again, she missed the last 2 days of school before spring break because of her safety. Furthermore, the PTO had a fundraiser event where they're bringing a treat trolley in. 95% of the items on that menu my daughter could not touch or eat. It was out of compliance with school district nutrition policies, federal nutrition policies. We were able to get action and got that stopped, but as of this past week, we've seen more issues where I've talked to the principal about a Mother's Day fundraiser event where the students have to pay to participate, so it excludes the less privileged kids who can't afford, but yet they're making cake made by Publix, which my daughter could never touch because of food contamination. So it's excluding the poor children, it's excluding the ones with severe food allergies. I've been trying this for 3 years. I haven't seen any action. That's why I've escalated it the past 2 weeks. It's got to the point now where I'm filed an official complaint with the Office of Civil Rights. And I challenge you all to do some changes, but I still want to take every avenue I have as possible to protect my daughter as well as others.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
King.